Yeah, underneath in the box. Yeah, right. What a shame. What a shame.
What's that?
There was a dress up there.
That you wanted?
No, it wasn't for me. It was for a
Great.
fancy dress. It was for my dog.
All right.
A little bit nuts, but you know, I'm okay really.
Right.
And I knew I should have got it.
Always, yes.
And Tess said, don't worry, it's been there ages.
Right.
God.
Somebody else.
Someone's got it, buddy. Someone's got the dress. I hope they like it because it's a good dress.
Jayo, Jaya Goracha, Arati Koshoba, throwaway box. Yeah, it's not a problem. It's
How do you know?
because look, it's got to be like this. Even if it's thicker, it's got to be sort of like wooden. It's tulsi. That's that's why they're throwing it up.
It was with the instruments.
Sanjaya Mukunda Vashu. Baje, baje, baje. Did you turn this on?
What's this?
Baje, baje.
Oh, these are leaflets. And
Baje, baje, baje. Baje, baje, baje. Baje, baje, baje. Baje, baje, baje. Madur, 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 madur. baje, 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 mador, 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 mador.
I'll give them to him upstairs, he can sell them.
Janjagini Vadana Ujvala Shevana Mala Korejala Mala Shiva Shukanarada Brain Gada Gada Baka TV no Shila Baka TV no Takur Deki Gora Sampada Shila Baka TV no Deki Gora Sampada Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Kadahara Shri Vasari Gora Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Kadahara Shri Vasari Gora Bhakta Vrinda Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami
I like incense.
Namo Namaste Saraswati Devi Goryavani Pracharini Nivashesh Sunyavadi Ashyatar Desatarani Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. Right, to do that one. One. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I don't know if I can play that. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go on, sing, sing. Hare Hare. One. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
I'll take out the dead one.
Yeah. can find specific. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Everybody. And then you give it to us after you finish with them. Blessings from them. Yeah. You do the same thing. So all around for everybody afterwards. Hare Yeah.
What am I doing?
No, go stand here. Stand here. The same thing.
Another 3 and 7.
Yeah. Straight from. Let's get right from.
Okay.
That's right.
I'm ringing my bell.
Yeah, you don't have to come to here. Just quickly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. Get the blessing from that. That's enough. Just put it away now. Yeah, thank you. That's very good. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, thank you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya.
You know that one. Where's Prema?
The stuffing came out last time. I like it so much. So yeah, the white stuffing there was last night out. I don't know what it was.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare
Let's do one short kirtan, and then we have our special speaker tonight.
One with lyrics?
No, just what will we practice it? We try?
Do that? Okay. Here we go. You're going to follow me.
Try.
Keep
What was
G, D, A.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
was Tara wanting to be a bit rock and roll.
Pretty rock and roll. So, Bhaja, are you ready?
Can I do Kirtan, or you've already had Kirtan and it's like that?
You can also do a bit.
Start and talk, huh?
You can do the talk or you do a bit kirtan as you like. So our special speaker this evening is Bhajahari Prabhu, who is a senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And runs a cafe in Watford. Just to give you the sound. So if anybody's around early morning tomorrow, we have a festival in Southall. It's at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's a bit early, till 8:30. And then last night we had a festival in Dartford, which was nice. That was an evening festival. So that was also 7 o'clock. So both of them were starting at 7 o'clock, but one was in the morning and one in the evening. You want a chair?
Yeah, I use my knees.
Okay, I get it.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Imate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Jaya Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namni Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharya Vasesha Samyavadi Pustachadi Sutani. I offer my respectful obeisances under the lotus feet of my spiritual master, who is very dear to Lord Krishna on this earth on account of his taking full shelter at his lotus feet. All glories to you, O servant of Saraswati, who is kindly delivering the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and freeing the Western world from the philosophies of impersonalism and voidism. I understand this second prayer, Namaste Saraswati Devi, was composed by one of Prabhupada's godbrothers. I may be wrong, but that's my understanding. But it is a very poignant pranams, very poignant prayer to the spiritual master. All glories to you, O servant of Saraswati. Servant of Saraswati means that Srila Prabhupada was the disciple of His Divine Grace, One Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajakacharya, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, who is the divine son of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Bhakti Vinod Thakur lived in the, 19th century, and left this planet, I think, around 1914, something like that. He was the person that had the vision to spread Krishna consciousness in the Western world, at least contemporarily, in later days. Of course, Lord Chaitanya himself said that he would spread Krishna consciousness all over India, and that in the future, one of his empowered Senapati Bhakta means the devotee who is like an army general. Senapati Bhakta. So he predicted that he would spread himself the Krishna consciousness movement all over India, which he did. If you read in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will see that Lord Chaitanya went over all of South India and back again, right up again to Mathura, Vrindavan, and back to Puri. So everywhere he went, people became Krishna conscious just by seeing him. Just by seeing, not only just by seeing him, but by seeing the people that saw him. Wherever Lord Chaitanya went, he was chanting and dancing, chanting Hare Krishna. People immediately became infected in a good sense. They become contaminated with Krishna consciousness. So he predicted, wherever he went, people became devotees. And then they went back to their villages in India, and they preached this Krishna consciousness cult to the people in their village, and then the whole village became Krishna conscious. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted that in the future, his Senapati Bhakta, his great general, commander-in-chief, would take Krishna consciousness all over the world. And Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is that person. At least in my mind, there's no doubt. Somebody may doubt, but to us, those who are ardent followers of His Divine Grace, we have no doubt that Srila Prabhupada is that person that was predicted not only by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but also by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He also predicted that there would come a great Vaishnava that would bring Krishna consciousness all over the world. He himself sent some of his books to the universities in the West. Do you? Prabhu, do you have to? It's a little disturbing if you just a little bit. It's very hard to focus when you're trying to speak. But he predicted, he sent a book, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, or the precepts of Lord Chaitanya. He sent it to the McGill University in Canada. I think we now have that copy of that. Some devotee found it years ago and took it into the care of ISKCON. And he sent it to some other universities. And he wanted to impress on people that this Krishna consciousness movement is not a sectarian cult that is meant to just remain in India or Bengal, but actually it is meant for the deliverance of the entire planet in its time of greatest need. Everyone knows, anyone can look in the newspapers or watch the news on TV, and you can see that the world is actually going crazy. Absolutely insane. Everything is topsy-turvy. Everything is upside down. Right? You can't trust the politicians. You can't trust the religious leaders. You can't trust the scientists. You can't trust the philosophers. You can hardly trust your mother and father. Because, Srila Prabhupada used to point out, in this age, people get married for sex life only. And when the wife becomes pregnant, if it's a little inconvenient, then kill the child. I don't want to have a child. It's a little inconvenient. It interferes with my career. Then why get married? Why have children? Or why have... So Prabhupada's, Srila Prabhupada's solution for birth control was have no sex. That's revolutionary. Okay? Everyone talks about the 60s revolution, love and peace. Right? Do it, everyone do it in the road. Actually, Prabhupada's was the real revolutionary. Lord Chaitanya Senapati Bhakta. His revolution was, wake up from this illusion. Stop thinking you're the body. Stop thinking you're your body. You're not a woman. You're not a man. You're not English. You're not Irish. You're not Indian. Jivera Swarupa Hoy Nitya Krishna Das. The soul is the eternal servant of Krishna. Believe this and you become happy. This is Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya, you all know, I think most of you come here regularly. So Lord Chaitanya is an incarnation of Krishna who appeared 500 years ago. Lord Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago. When Lord Krishna came, he demanded that we surrender to him. In the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Savadama, give up all your nonsense and become my devotee. Savadamam parityajamam become saranam brajam. Everyone should know that verse, at least that verse. This is the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. That Krishna came and he gave this idea, this yoga, jnana yoga. Finally everything culminates in surrendering to Krishna and understanding that we are not this body, we have nothing to do with this body. This body is a bag of bones, flesh, bile, mucus, bad smells. If you don't bathe for a few days, then you know. If you don't know, everyone else knows. So this body, it's not nice. It's not nice. It smells. Right? From the pores of the skin come all kinds of horrible things from inside that you eat them. Especially somebody you'll notice that eats in the mode of ignorance. Then their smell can be worse. Garlic and onions and meat. Then their bodily odors can be disgusting. So just as well we're not the body. But Lord Chaitanya, he came to engage us all in our eternal occupation as a servant of God, servant of Krishna. So this is the whole purpose of Prabhupada's coming to the West. When Srila Prabhupada came, he actually tricked us. Because his message was just chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Actually it's not a trick. But in a sense it was, because later on he had us working like hogs, dogs, camels and asses to push the Krishna consciousness movement. Not like hogs, dogs, but he had us working hard to push on the Krishna consciousness movement. So initially it was chant Hare Krishna, be happy, take prasadam. But when somebody has chanted Hare Krishna and taken prasadam and had some realizations, then it becomes almost, that's enough. If that's all somebody wants to do, that's also fine. But Srila Prabhupada taught us that we are Gostiyanandis. In the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there are Bhajananandis and there are Gostiyanandis. Bhajananandi means someone who's happy to sit and chant and perform his own worship for his self-interest, for his personal interest. That's Bhajananandi. And Gostiyanandi is someone who only thinks of giving Krishna consciousness to others. So this Krishna consciousness movement, it's a preaching movement. It's meant to reach out and to help people. Therefore, we have places like this Matchless Gifts, which Parasuram goes to a lot of trouble to keep open for you for Friday nights. I know, it's not easy to keep this place open. It costs money, everything. So he's working very hard, and this way, for me, he's one of my favorite devotees. Gostiyanandi. He's always pushing Krishna consciousness to the limits. What did you tell me once? Bhajan, I'm living on the edge. If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much room. So, he told me, I always remember that, he told me, Bhajan, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much. Now, here's a man that lives on the edge. He works 23 and a half hours a day, everyone knows. So, anyone who has empathy or sympathy for what he's trying to do, please help him. Please help him. Doesn't mean just money. You can come and serve on the on the Prasadam wagon, you can come here and help sell clothes, you can collect up clothes from places, bring them here, give them to Jenny, whatever. In some way, try to help push on Krishna consciousness. And the result of that is that you'll be very, 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 very happy. And at the end of this life, you don't have to take birth again in this material world if you don't want to. The purpose of life is to be so busy serving Krishna that when the end of life comes, when death comes, which is a very scary thing. I talk to some devotees who believe death is scary. But it's not. Death, you shouldn't be afraid of death. For someone who's situated in Krishna consciousness, why would he fear death? There's no need to fear death. So someone who's Krishna conscious, by chanting and serving, he becomes fearless. Abhay. That was Srila Prabhupada's name when he was a child. His parents named him Abhaya, fearless. Or one, what? Abhaya Charanaravinda. Charanaravinda means lotus feet. So Srila Prabhupada's name, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. A.C. stands for Abhay Charanaravinda. Swami Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta. Abhaya, no fear. So everyone is walking around in this world absolutely, totally afraid. And if they're not afraid, it's because they're either drunk or they're mad. Or something else, I don't know. Something else possibly. But most people in this world are crazy, one way or another, because they're acting under illusion all of the time. Practically 100% of our lives, we're acting under illusion, because we're thinking, I'm this body, she's that body, or she's thinking, he's that body, and the goal of life is to cuddle and make babies. It's not. This material world is a world of illusion. It's temporary. It's real, but it's temporary. That's the illusion. Just like the mirage in the desert. You see a mirage, and the animals, they run, they think it's an oasis. It's in a mirage. It's been projected in some way into the desert. The animal runs into the desert thinking that it's going for water, and the further he goes, the more dangerous becomes his position, because he's in a place where there's no water, but he's looking for water. So this material world is a place where there is no happiness. Anyone who believes there's happiness in material life is crazy. This is a fact. Srila Prabhupada wrote a short essay once in 1969, I think he wrote it, 68, 69. Who is crazy? When the devotees first appeared on the streets with shaven heads and dhotis and tilak and puntimal and sika, they used to think we were crazy. They used to laugh. I remember going down Charing Cross Road on a Saturday night. They would throw urine out of the top windows. When we go down Portobello Road, they throw tomatoes at us. They thought we were crazy. But inside we were all smiling because we knew that they were crazy. So, please, every one of you, I'll finish because I don't think... What time do you know we finish?
Good questions.
So, from now on, from the beginning. All right, I won't talk too long.
Get some questions.
Yeah, I'll take some questions. So, in the beginning they thought we were crazy. Now if you come out on a Saturday night, in Chinatown they join in with us. You've all seen the videos? You're there every Saturday. Who else is you? And your friend. You're there all the time. Who else? Will you come? I've seen you online, no? No.
On the street, chanting.
And of course Elizabeth, excuse me, I didn't see Elizabeth. So this chanting now has become very attractive. Why? Because the world is going absolutely crazy. Everyone knows, practically everyone knows that this world is so dangerous. Nobody wants to. Everyone is in some kind of fear, as I said before, unless they're intoxicated, and then even to get the money to be intoxicated, they start stealing and lying and cheating and doing business, right? So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, spiritual masters, used to say that this material world is no place for a gentleman or a gentlewoman. that we should finish our business in this lifetime and go back to the spiritual world. That's possible. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't finish Krishna consciousness and become in this lifetime. Some people say that it's not possible, you have to take birth in India or something. Srila Prabhupada never said that. If you're sincere, if you chant Hare Krishna from the core of your heart, if you learn how to follow the 4 principles of spiritual life, even though they may be difficult at first, there is some difficulty, there is some austerity, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, no animal products, no meat, no fish, no eggs. But if you follow them, you become blissful. If you don't follow them, you won't taste Krishna consciousness. You won't understand what we're talking about. It'll be something mystical to you. But the devotee who follows the principles and chants, then Krishna becomes revealed. Krishna reveals himself. But if you don't stick strictly, and this may not be part, people have to gradually come to Krishna consciousness at their own speed, we understand. But the goal should be to follow the 4 principles strictly. No illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, no animal foodstuffs. If you follow this, and you chant 16 rounds for 2 hours a day approximately, and you try to do other services for Krishna, it will be guaranteed that one day you will see God face to face. That frightens some people. Who wants to see God face to face? Yes, I thought you meant. So, nobody else put their hands up. 1, Elizabeth, 2, 3, 4. 4?
Well, that's because they have a misconception of God.
No, maybe. Maybe they have a misconception. Maybe they don't want to see God face to face.
They want to be.
No, maybe they want something else. And that's natural. In this material world, we become covered over. Just like a drop of rain falls from the sky. When it hits the dust, it becomes muddy. So when it's muddy, then you can't see properly. Or another example, you have your glasses. You can't see. And you're going out in the rain and it's raining all day. You can't see. Say you're on a motorbike or something, you don't stop. So it's so easy to get bewildered in this material world. There's so many things calling. Try me, try this, try this. Maya is very, very clever. And especially when somebody begins to take up spiritual life, then she goes for it, then she tests. So sometimes my experience and the experience of many of my friends in Krishna consciousness is that when they first came to Krishna consciousness, everything was very nice and very blissful and simple and easy. And after a little while, the tests start coming. So it's like that. Maya, or material energy, tests to see if you want to be Krishna conscious, if you want to see God face to face. And if you are, then you can spend this life preparing to see God, and at the end of life, you can see Krishna face to face. It's not difficult, and it's very difficult at the same time. This is a Chinti Veda Veda Tattva, and that's the sum and substance of the Krishna consciousness movement. Everything is simultaneously hard and easy. It's simple for the simple-hearted, and it's very, very difficult for the crooked heart to become God conscious. Thanks very much for listening to me. If anyone has any questions, please ask. Anything at all, I'll try to answer. If I can't answer, the last para. No questions?
Just a comment really, you were saying about if you follow the 4 principles and you chant 16 rounds and you carry out kirtan, etc., then you see God face to face, but you realise that actually God is everything and in everybody. So it's all God really, isn't it?
Everything's God, everything's not God. It's Chitta-Veda Veda Tattva.
As you see it.
No. Everything's God and everything's not God. Everything comes from God, therefore it's God's energy. So you can't say it's not God.
Yeah.
But it's not God. Because when you see Krishna face to face, you realize it. The Chitta-Veda Veda Tattva needs to be understood. It takes
God's
a little
energy.
while.
It's God's energy.
Everything is God's energy. So the energy comes from the energetic. So the difference is Krishna is the energetic and this material world is the energy. So it's different from God, but it's God.
Like the sun and the sun's rays.
Yes, exactly like the sun's and the sun's rays. So the sun if on a sunny day you're sitting in your room and the sun comes in your room, sunshine, the sun's in your room, but it's not in your room. That's Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. So that needs to be pondered. You
Say
have
the
to-
Sanskrit again, please.
Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Simultaneously, one
and the other.
and different.
Yeah.
God, this is God's energy. What is it? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhumir and Pol Nalo Vayu, the earth, water, air, fire, these are all my separated energies. So they're Krishna. They're separated from Him. But they're also Krishna. But we don't worship the microphone. No, we worship Nityananda Bhava. Krishna? Yes, please.
What happens if someone who doesn't have time to do 2 hours? If they do something else, if they
Well, that you have to, that's just case by case, right? But you have 6, 8 hours to sleep, then you leave 16 hours in the day, you work for 8 hours, it leaves 8 hours a day, you have your dinner and your meals for a couple hours, still leaves 6 hours. So you choose then to watch TV, or have a joint, or to chant Hare Krishna. You choose.
know too much.
2 hours is,
But
you
even
can
if
make
you
2 hours
spend,
if you
like,
want to.
15 minutes in the beginning, or 10 minutes, or
Of
5
course,
minutes.
excuse me, you're right.
Yeah.
You
Then-
start off with 1 round a day. When I
Then-
first met the devotees, they said to me, "Hey Chris, wherever you go, after you leave here tonight, you go around your mate's house to school, or whatever you're going to do, right? Just chant Hare Krishna when you're walking. It costs nothing." And I did, I had the faith. And I used to walk along the Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
And then once you start, you
Then
won't
you
be able
start
to
getting the
stop.
text. Then things start changing in your life. Things start happening. The magic comes into your life. Krishna consciousness is magical. If you're following it properly, every day is magical. Every day is just like it's mystical. Krishna does all these little wonderful things. Right? To this morning, this morning, what did you call it? This morning. Anyway, whatever. I had no idea I was going to be here, but it's magical because I'm talking to people about Krishna and it's lovely. And I had no idea. But today, this is my magic. Paya invited me and I'm speaking, and I feel magical because to speak about God, Krishna, is the purpose of life. To hear, speak, to Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Achanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivit. There are 9 ways to worship God. The most important one is to hear about God. So you're here, I'm speaking. And I'm only speaking because I hear from Prabhupada. So when you hear about God from the right person and you repeat that, there's potency. You become happy. Everyone's searching for happiness. There's no happiness in this world. There's nothing. Anyone who thinks there's happiness in this world, they're crazy. Yes.
When we go on Harinam, and there's loads of drunk people that come around and do a little jig.
Yeah.
But to them it's just another party. So, I mean, even if they are intoxicated, does it somehow creep into their subconscious?
100% yes. 100% the answer is yes. It's called Adyata Sukriti. They weren't there by accident. Right? Krishna is in the heart of every living entity. The Harinam party is coming down from Soho, and this drunk is falling out of a pub in Leicester Square, and they come together. Who's controlling that? Krishna. Not a blade of grass moves without the control or the sanction of the Supreme Lord. So that person has done something nice in his past life. He may be a little intoxicated tonight, but when he wakes up tomorrow, he'll have a Chant Hare Krishna in his pocket, and he'll read it, and he'll remember, I was dancing with the Hare Krishnas. But because he had a pint or two in him, he was loose enough to do it. And that's a blessing. And it may seem, you may think that, sorry,
You might not do it when you're sober.
that's my point. They may not do it when he's sober. But still, whether they join in or don't join in, they're still here.
They may actually get more benefit because they are doing it spontaneously and more enthusiastically than somebody who
Yes.
So Krishna reciprocates with that.
Because I was in New York City a few years ago and I forgot the Prabhu's name, but he said in the 70s when he came upon the Krishnas, he was on LSD and he wandered into
We
the
all
temple
were.
like, what is this?
Sitting in the back is my old friend. We were all hippies, both hippies in Kali. When Prabhupada called me in 1970 when I came. 4, 5, 6, 7 of us come. He hung around. Now, for the last 20 years, he's been coming to visit me, and he's very nice to go to. But he didn't come when we came. But we were all doing it. That's what everyone was doing in the 70s. Well, not everyone, but a lot of the people that came to Krishna classes because they were ready to experiment. They were prepared to, you know. They were looking, searching.
I just wonder about now because like, there's so many people that are in the pub and just drinking all the time, and then when we come by, it's there, but then it's over, and I wonder like, are they going to come back, or is it just a one-off?
Just by hearing the holy names, if it's chanted, especially when it's chanted by pure-hearted devotees, Sri Govinda when he sings, pure and simple, and he's enjoying it. So the purer the devotee, the more potency is there. Like it says, as far as possible, the chanting should be heard from the lips of a pure devotee. So sometimes people chant and they're still engaged in the simple activities. So the potency is less, obviously. So if there's pure devotees, like, then there's more potency. That's, at the same time, there's no hard and fast rules to chant. Everyone should chant, whether one's pure. For example, when I first began chanting, I was doing everything, smoking dope, everything. I was still eating meat. But if I started to chant, the purification begins. Right? So we just want to get everyone to chant, even if it's only once, because the purification begins there. That chanting is the start of their spiritual life, really.
When you first started speaking, you spoke of two, those that like to just chant and those that like to...
Bhajananandi and Gostianandi.
Gostianandi, yeah.
Srila Bhakti Das Babaji, the spiritual master of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, was Bhajananandi. Very, very elevated Bhajananandi. He was so elevated he used to sit by a latrine, so no one would come to bother him. Because they used to, everyone would come in Bengali, "Oh Maharaj, Swamiji, you give me your blessings." And they wanted money or cure or something. So he went and sat inside the latrine to chant. So no one would come to bother him.
So I was going to ask you, does one lead from chanting to preaching, or is there
Not necessarily. Some of the Bhajanandis, you could say, my speculation, and I'll say that Gokishwar Das Babaji Maharaj was there, so because you're not supposed to initiate your own children, Bhaktivinoda didn't want to initiate Bhaktisiddhanta, he sent him to Gokishwar. So Gokishwar was there as a part of the parampara to facilitate things for Bhaktisiddhanta to begin preaching. Any other questions? Yes,
at the beginning, when you translated the pranams, the meditation Shunyavadi, a lot of people, especially when they first hear about Krishna consciousness, or they think they have been practicing some kind of spiritual practices, they don't understand this difference. Can you elaborate on the difference between voidism, impersonalism, and what we do personalism? Because some people don't understand, and it's very especially for those who did some impersonalist meditation. It's very difficult. They are more difficult to preach to sometimes than those who don't know.
The materialistic, the Mayavadi and Nirvisesha Shunyavadi is Mayavadi or impersonalism. So some people accept that God is a power, He's an energy, right? It's less like accepting that the sunshine is there, but there's no sun. So it's not very intelligent, really. So, but a lot of people get locked in this concept that God's not a person. That God is not a person. When it's said that the whole material universe was created by a person, people's brains start to go a little, whoa, how can a person create something so big? You'd have to be a really big person. And the point is that it's beyond that. Krishna is absolute. And if we see in the world personality, that means there must be personality in the origin. Right? Srila Prabhupada often gives the example that in in searching for the absolute truth, you have to go back. Or the Savakarana Karanam, there's cause of all causes. What is the cause of all causes? Everything you see has a cause, right? Everyone in this room has a mother and a father, right? And they had a mother and a father. And they also had a mother and a father. And they also had, and you go back. And when you find that person who has no mother and father, that's God. That's Krishna. So he's a person. So Shankaracharya, he came and he preached impersonalism, and that confused most of India. Most people in India are very confused about whether God's a person or not a person. So Srila Prabhupada's mission, and then all the hippies went to India and they came back, and they're all also impersonalists. They believe that God's a white light, or remember the divine light mission and all these things. So actually God is a person. Behind the white light is a person. If you read the Sri Upanishad, it explains it very clearly. The Sri Upanishad is 18 verses. So Nirvisesha Sunyavadi, Prabhupada came to destroy these two philosophies. This idea that God is not a person, or that the goal of life is to become void. Like the Buddhists, Nirvana. Nirvana means no qualities. Right? So I have a body, it's made of earth, water, fire, air, ether. Right? So when I die, those things go back into the atmosphere, and there's nothing left. I'm actually nothing. That's the point. I'm nothing. Nothingness. So there's no such thing as nothingness. There's always something. So when people first come to spiritual life, they have this, a lot of the times they have this concept that God is not a person. But he is a person. He's not an ordinary person like you and I. Every person has 4 defects, at least. So God is faultless, has no defects. That's the difference. Anything else? Prasadam's coming. You don't have any questions? Are you English?
No, I'm just thinking about self-realization. Not very late. I'm just thinking about living in material world and being self-realized and really from here, knowing who we are, and really actually no matter if we die or we don't die, to be happy because we see God, we see our true self. My true self, everybody else's true self, and though I don't think that people are what they are thinking, all those illusions, all those pain, in different ways of suffering, I can see all of them, who they are, and myself. And I see that fantastic that we are. Because God is the beloved, and the lover we are, that's all of us.
Yeah.
And seeing everything equal.
Equal and not equal. We are all part of God. You're right. You're absolutely correct. We're all a part of God. But Srila Prabhupada explains, and the Vedas explains, that just like a drop of water and the ocean, both the water and the ocean have the same quality. The drop of water and the ocean, they have the same quality. Right? What is water? Hydrogen, oxygen. Right? H2O. Right? 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. Right? H2O. Yeah. So it's a gas. So when they converge together, they become water. So the qualities of the drop of water and the qualities of the ocean are the same. The quality of the sunshine, the beam of light from the sun, and the sun is the same. Why? Heat and light. When the sun comes in your room, through the window, there's some heat, it warms you up, and there's some light. So on the sun planet, there's heat and light. If the sun came in your room, everything would be destroyed. Right? So there's a difference between the sunlight and the sun planet.
In fact,
There's a
the
difference between the drop of water and the ocean.
I know that.
Right.
But
So,
I'm thinking when you get when you are actually, when you self-realize, I was just explaining how you really see the world, how you see people. You don't just look at their mind or these things, or when you look at a tree,
what
you
does
can
self-realize mean?
see to know that we are not this material body and we are not these little thing that we think we are.
And
All
what else?
these, that we are not all false
So
ego.
what you're saying is we're not this, we're not that, we're not this. So what are you? Tell me what you are.
I am the spirit. I know that I am the
Yeah, your
spirit.
spirit. So what does spirit do for a living? What does spirit do? What is the purpose of spirit? What is the spirit is eternal. So what is this eternal business of the spirit?
Serving God and knowing that God
Serving
is
God.
everywhere,
Oh, okay.
seeing that.
Yeah.
No, not
You're right.
like
You're
a
right.
poor person always thinking, or really feeling God inside.
No, God is
like
inside.
it's here
Yeah,
inside.
so serving
not-
God.
Is not
So how do you serve God?
How do I serve?
Yeah, what do you serve? How do you serve God? To serve God, you have to know what He wants you to do. And you have to find out what He wants you to do. So in order to find out what He wants you to do, you have to approach a bona fide, genuine spiritual master. Yes, He will introduce you to God. And we can't find Him on our own. Just like you can't even meet the Queen of England. She's not God. She's just the Queen of little island. Yeah? She's not very important. She may be important in England, but in the terms of all the millions of planets in the universe, she's very insignificant. So God, Krishna, created the whole universe.
I don't think what I'm saying is having any difference or opposite of what you're saying. I'm just
No, that's okay. I don't think so either. I agree with you. I'm just asking you to go a little deeper. Go a little deeper. What is the purpose of the soul? What's the soul supposed to do? Serve God. So to serve God, you have to know what God wants you to do. And how do you find out what God wants you to do?
God
You
also
ask.
wants us to know exactly who we are.
Exactly.
He
But
wants
where
us
do you
to
find
know.
that out?
In the Gita,
Yeah.
it's written fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
If you read it.
So what does Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita? Savadam akrita jamami kamsharanam. You give up all these other occupations.
all other desires.
Yeah, and surrender to me.
That you think that you are that, you are this, you
Yeah,
are
you're right.
ever perfect.
You're right.
You don't need
100%.
anything
You're right.
else.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you're right. But to know God and to serve Him, you have to be trained by a pure devotee.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
So how do you know what's a pure devotee?
One is constantly engaged in service. Is that
Yes, please.
what it says?
One who only thinks about serving Krishna. You see in his life, cent for cent. If you were, Srila Prabhupada he never said, okay, all out of the room, I'm turning on the telly. Right?
Yeah.
He's all out of the room, I was transcribing Bhagavatam. And he stay up all night doing the Bhagavatam. So, pure devotee is always engaged in serving Krishna. That's what a pure devotee is. 24 hours. Hi, Krishna.
On a practical level,
Yes.
we see that serving God, Krishna, would be serving others, fellow human beings.
Somebody who is a pure devotee is always serving other living entities. That's his only business. But that service has to be spiritual. For example, if I'm an alcoholic and you give me a bottle of whiskey, is that serving humanity?
No, that's what I meant.
No, I'm not saying that's what you meant.
Shouldn't help.
Yeah, but yeah. So we're as a movement, we're not very interested in so-called social work, but we're interested in the highest social work, which means to enlighten people what their relationship is with God. That is like Jesus said, you teach a man to fish, or you give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. But you teach a man how to fish, and you feed him for life. Right? So our idea is that we teach people how to get free from this birth, death, old age, and disease, so they never have to come back into this material world and have any more problems. Finish. All problems gone. One swoop. So we're not too much. I mean, Parasuram distributes prasadam, out on the street. Everyone comes. But it's not just to people who are homeless. He's also to students. He went to Leicester and cooked for all the devotees a few days ago.
Went to Cannes.
Yes, he went to Cannes with the rich people. So we don't discriminate just to poor people. We give food. We give prasadam to everyone. It so happens that mostly the poor people are not too proud to come and take it.
Yeah, poor people are great.
How do you respond when there is, for instance, a humanitarian crisis in some parts of the world? Do you have a hands-up policy, or would you share your resources?
No, a lot of the time, say for example in Mayapur, where our headquarters are, world headquarters, quite often it gets flooded. So then we'll send out boats with food on. We'll help feed the villagers and things like that.
That's your way of serving Krishna.
Yeah, but it's prasadam. Yeah. Because we give them prasadam. We give them spiritual food. We wouldn't be interested in giving them
medical care.
No, there are other people there to do that. We have our business. Just like you're a mechanic, so you fix cars. We're Brahmins, so we fix spiritual life.
Are there not nurses and people with medical background?
One of my god sisters, yes. One of my god sisters in Mayapur, she's what they call midwife.
She should not use her skill. That was a gift.
She does use her skill. Yeah.
That would be very good as well.
Yeah, but our main emphasis is on giving spiritual knowledge. That's our main emphasis. I've got a cafe, right? It's a vegetarian cafe. I serve some spiritual food. I have my spiritual master's books. We play most of the time when my son's not there. We play spiritual sounds. So the cafe has become spiritual. This place is a shop, right? It's a second-hand shop. But it's spiritual because the purpose of it is to enlighten people about Krishna consciousness. So this is our main focus. If by the by people get nice food and everyone's happy, that's nice also. But it's spiritual food. It's been blessed. This has been offered to God. It's not mundane. So we're not interested in helping people continue their material existence. We're interested in stopping people's material existence, if they want. Does that make sense? Our focus is not on charity here. Though there is a hospital, as Elizabeth was pointing out, we do have a hospital in Mumbai, just outside Mumbai. There's a hospital. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, this hospital where they have people to...
Yeah, outside Bombay.
I don't know where it
Yes, it's outside. Just outside Mumbai. So, we do that, but it's not our emphasis. It's not our main program. Our main program is opening temples, but our real main program is to distribute books, spiritual books, so people can read and understand the purpose of life. That's our main business.
Actually, on that point, because he was so worried about people's physical state, if a nurse gets the Krishna conscious knowledge, she can use it to help people get the Krishna conscious knowledge. There are lots of devotees, like Irene, who most of us know. She works as a carer, and she makes every effort, even if she's taking care of somebody who's a meat eater or atheist, she makes every effort to give them some form of prasadam. So, it's about that. So if we give knowledge of Krishna to everybody in all walks of life, if they get into it, they pass it on.
Devotees always, I walk around with this in my pocket. And if I'm walking around and chanting when I was on a morning walk and I meet someone, I'm chatting to them. I've got a cafe and work with this little sample. I always try to think of ways to distribute prasadam or Prabhupada's books.
I say the pakoras are really nice.
Can I
And
give
the
you some
chutney
more?
is amazing as
The
well.
chutney's amazing. It's off my neighbour's apple tree.
Oh,
I was wondering what fruit. You can't tell what fruit.
It's apple
very-
tree. Yeah. Apple.
Oh, ginger apple.
Yeah, inconceivable. Any other questions? No? Comments? No? Did you have enough for Sam?
Well, just a quick comment for those who are not aware. Tomorrow is Lord Balaram's appearance day. Balaram is Krishna's big brother, and he's very powerful. He gives you spiritual strength. And there are lots of pastimes how Krishna and Balaram beat up big nasty demons. So please come to the festival. There's a feast at lunchtime. And then there is simultaneous singing and dancing both in the temple and outside. And we have big teams going out all afternoon, all evening.
Anyone want more
That
chorus?
gives you, that gives you spiritual strength.
Chorus?
Just dancing,
Yeah?
partying all day gives you spiritual strength. And if you share it, you get even more powerful. So please look at Parasuram. We never sleeps, and then things were found. And next Saturday is Krishna's birthday. So that's bigger than Christmas, literally. Jesus is father, isn't it? And we have a feast after midnight, and we sing and dance until then.
These are all family captains.
So it's
What are
all
you doing?
sing and dance.
All night.
I made them.
Krishna was born in the middle of
At
the night.
midnight, so we have a big kirtan at midnight, and then we have a feast. So it's all about singing and dancing. It's not spiritual life is not about self-flagellation. I was just talking to someone on the way here. I was doing all that. So just asking, spiritual life is not about self-flagellation. I've been a fool, fine. Okay, now I need to go ahead. How do I go ahead? That's the most important. So this is Krishna. You need to go forward rather than about
Yeah, we made car and stuff and some drink.
Yes, thank you.
and how do you help the others to realize that they move forward?
Drink.
Where's the drink? In here.
I think it's very nice.
Keep pouring more.
I think it's very nice too.
Thank you.
No, I don't think.
Only about 20 minutes to get it together.
Well, I suppose.
Drink.
Does anyone want to guess why the pakoras are so nice?
You made it.
Devotion.
No.
Krishna's
they're,
mercy.
they're
Yeah,
cooking ghee.
Cooking ghee, yeah.
Oh, right. How
Pure
about
ghee.
Krishna's mercy?
We've lost one of the habits we've lost in this country.
You don't know drink.
It's not cooking ghee.
Chorus.
Yeah, if you're cooking ghee, everything tastes divine.
And it's better for your brain.
It's actually now a superfood. They listed it as a superfood.
Mm. I mean, if you're going to fry anything,
Chorus.
it's better than,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, it's not good. Hot like
Come.
Ghee is good. Prabhupada says ghee is healthful.
Oops.
I have a letter where Prabhupada says healthful use. Because I always want to open a restaurant. I've never been able to do it. I've got a little cafe. I've now got to the restaurant. But I've got all the letters where Prabhupada says about how to open a restaurant. And he says everything should be cooked in ghee.
Wow.
Yeah. No vegan meat in the village.
This one? Yeah. Sweets. Sure.
And also somebody told me that all these supposed vegetable oils, you know, these big bottles that people buy for
As soon
restaurants,
as they open,
it's
them, go up.
artificial.
Like a chutney.
As soon as they open, they start to deteriorate. They found ghee in some of the caves around the Mediterranean, around the biblical lands. They found some pots with ghee in that were like 3,000 years old, and the ghee was still edible. Because it was sealed. Because what happens, what is ghee? It's clarified butter. So you heat the ghee, the butter, and all the impurities rise to the top or sink to the bottom. You scoop them off the top, you pour all the ghee out, it's pure. That's from the miracle cow. Cow eats grass, useless. You get ghee, butter, and milk, butter, ghee, buttermilk, cheese,
Yogurt.
yogurt, and then the cow dung, the cow urine, they're both antiseptic.
Cooking.
When they first, you can dry the chapati, the cow dung, cook on it. In India, they wash their kitchens with cow urine and dung. When the British found out, they thought that they were all right. But then they tested it in the laboratory and found out it's antiseptic.
I haven't tried it, but it's from the shop at the moment, so just be careful.
It's dark, so
Yeah, they could do it a long time.
There's a small tribe on the border of Nepal and India called the Ranataru, and they make these portable little cooking ovens out of cow dung and mud, and they just cook with them, and then when they don't need it anymore, they throw it out.
Well, the human urine is also exactly accepted as well.
Is there more chutney there?
Yeah.
Give it a
Yeah.
I had to
Oh, you got it.
Some more chutney?
Even Paris started cooking in ghee boys the other day.
Do you cook your chapatis in ghee?
Chapatis? Puris. Chapatis, you put ghee on top. You don't cook them in ghee. You make the chapati and you put a bit of ghee on top.
You don't cook them in ghee?
You don't cook chapatis in ghee, in anything. Puris.
That's dry.
It's dry.
don't fry them, you put them on.
You don't fry them. You put them on a hot plate and then you put them on... Huh?
The Punjabi people do.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's a
then it's a paratha.
yeah.
Paratha. No. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The thick one.
Yeah, they put oil ghee in them. They don't fry them in ghee. They put ghee on top and then it sticks. Puris, you know what puris are, yeah? Yeah. Fried them in ghee. I had some for lunch.
Oh, because sometimes I go to the Gurdwara, the Sikh temple, and like in the kitchen they do put a little bit of ghee on the
On
skillet.
top, when
and
it's
then-
finished.
Yeah,
Oh, I see. When it, before they put it on the flame?
yeah.
Oh. Yeah, there's so many different ways to do things. How do you have your toast? With mine or with butter on the house? You've got different ways to do it. But normally the patties you just make dry, cut them up on the flame, put a little bit of ghee on top. That's normal. Basic. Who's that? Oh,
Yeah.
oh, it's not. Electrical.
It's magical.
It's a magic electrical.
Yes.
But how much ghee are you supposed to have per day? Because some people might
No,
say
you shouldn't overdo it. It's very rich.
You like this,
Should've
I
brought-
already did overdo it.
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada said that 6 days a week you eat simple. 6 days a week you eat very simply. Prabhu, hang on, leave it for you, yeah?
And maybe the seventh one? Oh, you need it for tomorrow. Right.
No, I'm just saying leave it for you.
Right. Oh, yeah.
What's that?
For sure. Puris.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, samosa.
Oh, we forgot those, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
We are serving the
Samosas.
Serve us here.
kachori.
Yeah.
We have kachori.
Yeah, 6 days a week simple. Dal, rice, chapati, simple.
That's
No,
enough?
not ghee, no rice. And then 1 day a week you have a nice food.
Simple and one day a week.
And nice feast. That was how we lived in the temple. 6 days a week we had
Samosas?
healthy, very full of rich protein.
Beans, boxes.
Dal, rice, and vegetables.
Too much for you.
Or khichdi, which is all three of them mixed together. And then 1 day a week you have feast with nice sweets.
Samosas. Found some samosas.
Well, I have a bunch of guys outside anyway.
Oh, right.
So we can...
Pass me a sweet, this one's sweet.
Have you got a broom? Is there a broom up there?
Yeah.
I'll take those sweets if they're nice sweet. Muppet, good.
Oh, really?
Whose plate is
The
this?
person who
I don't know.
is he trusts themselves and the person who gives to help other people realise.
great is this, brother? I think maybe nobody is. But
Do you have to
yeah,
go
I'll have,
through
is that,
one that you have to see?
I have people, we have people outside.
Go through the before you can get inside the system, you have to understand it yourself and be selfish about it first.
You could say that. Though,
You want something to
yeah,
talk about?
I remember when I first met the devotees, I was living in Cardiff. You know Cardiff? So, it's just a hippie. And we met the devotees. And straight away I went on the street singing and dancing. And shake my head again a little week later.
Yeah.
And 2 or 3 weeks later I was feeling
On
cold.
the side.
So, everyone's different. You have to go to your own street. You could say I hate to go running because that's what it was like in the summer.
Does anybody want to take some of that? Some show? Home?
Yeah, I have. You know,
You want to
some
plate?
people may want to become a little bit steady and understand that they're getting ready for this stuff. Give it to them.
But it's not, there's no right or wrong.
Yeah. I got some. Right.
But the point about bhajan and animals, they stay in that mode. They stay. They don't ever become creatures. They stay there. So your Prabhupada encouraged us to be creatures.
Is it better
Okay.
or like your spiritual?
Krishna is more pleased. He says in Bhagavad Gita, for those who spread the message of Krishna, there's no one more dear to me than you. For Krishna takes note. Just like, okay, I'm a father, I got 5 sons. I've got 4 children, 2 girls, 2 boys. If one of my children is always trying to help the others, I'm naturally more pleased. So in the same way, Krishna is more pleased when he sees people reaching out to help others. I know your face.
I still pick up
See, you know all over the place, eh? New York and where?
Yeah.
Great.
You don't know me.
Right. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Remind me of something.
Maybe
We all
maybe
do.
I
don't go.
in the manner when there are
Yeah.
Parasuram is
In the last few years you've been there.
You're from what? No, I'm from
Been last. You remind me of someone from this.
I live in the manor.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, you like Krishna classes?
when I was a little girl, probably about 6 years old. That's good to know.
Really?
Shaven heads
Really nice.
down in Rosebery Avenue, around England area.
Do you want anything in it?
Is it bank holiday next
Come on, show me what you want. Monday, you can just
Because I was meant to bring some stuff here, but it was raining all week and I couldn't do it. So
Okay.
if it's closed, is it closed Monday?
This one?
None of them are to come Tuesday. She was the
Chutney?
my father died. So I was kind of in a
Okay.
Get out and about
What about this one? This one? That one? Yeah. Thank you.
Where you sign up for 3 months and you leave as a resident.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Give me an idea what year that was.
More about personal service.
You're 6, 7 or 8, so I'm not giving you any rates.
very early 70s.
I was working at 71. Okay, 73 I was doing. And when we come to the manor,
Yeah, keep them out.
moved me out to the manor. I used to live at very place. I moved there from Cardiff. I joined in September 71 in Cardiff. And by December I moved to London. I was visiting that very place. Maybe I gave you some. I thought I knew. I did. I I don't think that my memory's like
They are the same character.
No, some of them
Drinks?
You know, the police.
Oh, wait, careful.
I'll give you a flyer.
I've got
This book about the trees. Because that explains.
I'm just going to put a top.
Yeah, oh.
Because it's kind of like the jam.
See you tomorrow.
Alright, that's fine. More? Thank you for coming. Where are you from? Oh, this is nice. Maybe I'm going to Russia. In India.
Egypt doesn't, it's a
I'm going to.
that was recorded in the 80s between him.
Is this okay for you?
And then I remember how I started.
Oh, you want to go to India? Want to go to India? Oh, your friend wants many devotees. They're from Russia? You're from Russia as well? No? Where are you from? What country? Oh, no.
Amazing pastors. They've been from big Bhajahari is very strong. But he's the original guru.
look at your face.
I'll just give you a flyer.
Yeah, for me, just like.
Actually, I'll give you one of these. This is, we have all of these different weeks. This one is the previous one, this one. Has the address on it. I mean, the map. Yeah.
Where you're going to be.
I'm just using that.
You're never in the moment. It's
Yeah, sure.
Actually,
Yeah,
I feel
okay,
like
I'm
it's
just
all
gonna
much here.
It is, it's very
Always
good.
afraid.
And that's the Krishna's birthday.
If I've got a moment
It's
of
literally
peace
together
before
Christmas
I become Christian conscious, if I've got a moment of peace,
And we are
I still refuse to worry that I
into the
won't
small
worry.
world.
This world, why is everything seen like
And then his brother and his brother. This week it's like festival. Festival.
All right.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
You use Facebook?
Where they from?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook.
Can I connect with you? I can send you all the videos of them.
Okay.
Europe.
Do you ever come on right now?
I've been trying to encourage you.
Colleen, please come.
Shall I take this one off?
Yeah.
Saturday
You
night.
did as well?
You know where the temple is?
Yes, I do.
Come outside outside. Meet the
And tomorrow is the day because it's Balaram's
Really nice, big
tomorrow,
day.
especially the evening one. Finally they got the message. They are cancelling the evening kirtans and Radha Mishra is going to do several kirtan and he's going to get energy and everything. Because they normally
Tomorrow's a huge one. 100 devotees. Come and join us. Come on, like a little girl. Come.
you can hide in the crowds.
What's your Facebook? Connect.
It's my own name, Colleen.
Is that at the temple in
C-O-L-E-N.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come and punch up for the feast and then it's all up to
C O double L E.
One L, C-O-L-E-N.
This is the
Link, L-I-N-G.
L-I-N-G.
Yeah, on Facebook.
So I'll connect with you. My name's Bhajahari Murphy. I use my birth name, my spiritual name. It's worked out because if you, a lot of the devotees that just use their spiritual names for Facebook, it's made them only use their birth names.
So you can do.
I've stayed in them and they've not said anything to me. So it was a good decision of mine, unfortunately. I used my spiritual name, the Prabhupada gave me Bhajahari. And then I put my father's name.
Perfect.
Bhajahari Murphy.
Yeah?
I'll make a connection.
Okay.
Otherwise, see you tomorrow night. Please be there.
Yes.
Please. Nothing, no emergency. Come, we're going to speak.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Okay, we got to go. Colin, he's ready to leave in a minute. Okay. Lovely to meet you. Real pleasure. You take care, yeah? Thank you.
As I say, tomorrow is the day because Balaram is the spirit, the original
All up
God.
to
And he's,
Parasuram.
he gives us spiritual strength.
These ones, something's happened to them?
Prema.
And also he likes having fun. There are lots of pastimes with Krishna and Balaram
Okay.
playing around. And their favorite pastime is killing big demons. So, he likes
my guitar tomorrow. Bring my guitar.
If you like, but just listen in first. Because
You're gonna help me clean up?
I don't mind.
You know what to do, don't you? Yeah.
And they like to do it. Like I used to do sound for 8 years for all the festivals, and I used to sponsor play on that. So I used to listen out for musicians and all that. That's really the only way forward, isn't it, at the moment? Well, it depends on how they are dealing with it, but bring it just in case. And listen, the basic idea is the same as the basic idea is the same as family. Keeping time. There's nothing worse, even if you are into it, if you are playing the part. Because the whole thing is not just it's chanting, but also when it's kirtan, then we dance. So if somebody's not going to do the time,
If after 2 or 3 weeks you haven't heard
and come on, spend all the day.
you meditate? Of course, Hare Krishna, chant the holy name. Thank you.
What time are you leaving? You're leaving at 6.
What do you mean?
Okay.
For what? It's a festival all day, so your question is irrelevant. What do you mean?
Are you going out onto the street at 6?
All afternoon and all evening. We can go at different times, 3 o'clock, about 5 or 6, and then 7:30 is when everybody from the temple goes out.
Check makes 2 of us.
Instead of getting ready
In the last few weeks,
they will just so please come.
Okay.
Or come for the whole thing, because there's going to be talks,
Yes, like I was saying,
play. Normally they have a play as well.
in India.
From Krishna's pastimes, so
Devotees
Krishna go around
to go, yes.
amazing pastime.
Yes, very good.
And
Hare Krishna.
brother, elder brother. Yeah. You could say how can Krishna, God, who's eternal, and who's the source of everything, and elder brother, but that's his pastime. Balaram is his expansion. You could also talk and go tell him what.
Did you talk to them about that?
Well, yes.
You know, he can do
I've
whatever
submitted
he
an
likes.
application already. They will send me an answer, and hopefully it's a good.
Yeah.
Very much then. Very nice evening.
Okay, you too. Hare Krishna.
Oh, and I never got in touch with you because I'm still with this crazy family, so I don't have the time for myself. But then, if that's still on about Brighton Rath Yatra, I forgot to check the exact date. I need to check again. Would you be driving there? Can I catch a lift with you? Because the thing is, there is a coach. They already took the other accident. See you, Colin.
Robert, did somebody leave their beads?
That was there, I think.
No, I put them there.
Oh, Parasuram.
I found them in the
Oh,
instrument box.
if you are eating a spare one.
Yeah, the spare ones.
Parasuram, when is Brighton Rath Yatra?
Oh, not sure, not for a while.
Not from okay. Anyway, so if I find out, then would that be okay? Because you said earlier you wanted to go.
As long as I know the date and I'm not doing anything on that date.
Okay.
Find out the date first.
Well, you missed all the Rath Yatras, and that's one of the nicest Rath Yatras. So try and keep it free for that day. I can just keep it free with decorations.
I came to I saw you come in the temple when they were having the journey to Krishna land.
Right. No, I normally spend several hours a day doing Harinam. And on festival days I try to get people out more and more Harinam. And tomorrow we are doing Harinam all afternoon and the evening.
Where are you doing it?
From Soho Street.
Oh, I see. Right.
From. Well, if it's Harinam, that means we go somewhere else.
Right.
But we start from Soho Street.
Right. And you're going over to the Indian Centre in West London.
No, that's in the morning. I would prefer to go to Soho Street first thing in the morning, but the Parasuram probably said he's doing this installation. And I've never been to a dating installation, so I want to go. And it's very early, I live very far, so I don't know if I can get there.
I've tied the bin up. We've got another one.
Yeah, black one there.
Oh yeah. If it was a dog it would bite me, huh?
Yeah. You know, if you have been eating, first please wash your hands, because even if you think you are cleaning, you are spreading contamination.
No, I've just trod in water. What
Oh, I
do you
see,
want me
sorry.
to do?
Okay.
I'm
No, I
not
thought you were
contaminating
tidying.
anything. It was all over my feet. I had to
All
wipe
right,
it.
okay.
Thank you. Now I want to take this with me.
Oh,
In a
we should
little
get
bit of
plate.
tissue will do.
Is that Peter's wig? Whose wig is it?
It's for my dog Dottie.
Your
And I
dog?
dress her up as
Oh,
Britney
really?
Spears.
Should
I can put it here.
All right, yes, yes, yes.
That's fine.
Have you had her since she was a puppy?
Oh no.
What kind of dog is it?
I have an English pointer and a Chihuahua.
Wow.
And I love them very, very much.
Oh dear.
And we spend...
You wanna get your broom?
Yeah, give me the brush, the broom.
I go to Hampstead Heath nearly every day for 2 hours,
You should know.
which is wonderful. Nature.
It's kind of changed up a bit.
Nature is wonderful.
What about cats?
I like all animals.
Do you have any cats?
Cats, dogs, bats, rats.
Do you have these at home? Bats? Do you have all these animals?
No, but I'm not worried about any animals. I like spiders, I like fish, I like snakes. I like
Even poisonous snakes?
even poisonous snakes. I like everything. I used to go diving and see all the wonderful creatures under the sea, and you know, so many wonderful
Well, if
things.
you woke up one morning and you found poisonous snakes in your, I don't know, in your house, would you be scared? Would you be scared?
I'd move away and hope that they would too. I think if you show fear to things,
As
they
much as I love
instinctively
animals,
know
I
it.
don't know.
Okay, we have to go. We have to go soon.
I think we must all have a healthy respect for each other.
Yeah, the snake is identical as the spirit soul to your spirit soul. So as long as you, as you said, as long as you don't disturb it, it's not going to harm you.
Exactly.
I'm sure about
It's
that. like lions only, you know,
Only
even
if it's
animals.
frightened.
It's only the human animal that kills needlessly
Indeed.
without of nice choice.
It's very complex.
It's actually not so complex.
No, I mean people's minds are also different. There's great complexity.
But that's why we are trying to
Individuals.
overcome the mind. You need to rise above the mind. The mind is still material. It's just a more subtle layer of material
The
covering.
mind also enables you to survive.
No, it doesn't.
It does, because if you didn't have one, you wouldn't be able to speak now.
No, that's your intelligence. The mind has got nothing to do with that.
I think it has, because you
Can
have
I
your
just
nerves
explain?
that come
Our
out,
philosophy
don't they?
explains all
If
these
you
The
things.
two of them always
They-
connecting, always.
Yes, you have to, because if
No,
you,
no,
if
can
you
I
put
explain?
your hand
Colleen.
on a fire, it will tell you to take it away.
No,
It didn't.
that's not your mind. That's your intelligence.
It is your mind. It comes from your nerves.
Can I explain? I give you,
to the
if you come
mind,
to the
doesn't
temple,
it?
I give you Bhagavad Gita. This is pure knowledge. The mind is just part of the machinery. The intelligence has the ability to make those choices. It's your intelligence you are talking about. The Bhagavad Gita explains these different layers. The mind is just a controller of the
Are you
senses.
calling the mind the brain as well?
No, the brain is just a
Central-
physical
What about your
structure.
central nervous system?
That's just the physical side
What
of
about the
things.
anatomy and physiology that make you able to put
That's
your
just the
hand out
machinery.
and
It's
pick
like
things
that's just
up?
the machinery.
Mind is here.
You know,
Brain is here.
they both work, together. They're
So
all,
as she says, it's the intelligence. The mind is always working with the intelligence, asking questions. Should I not?
but also, without your physical nerves and everything else, you wouldn't be able to do things.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Mind
No, but that's
You
just the
wouldn't-
machinery.
Yes, but you would. Yes, but you still
Yeah.
needed to survive. Without
Right.
it, we wouldn't be able to survive. We wouldn't be able to swallow prasad. We wouldn't be able to take.
Krishna is the ability. Without Krishna, you can't do
We
that.
wouldn't be able to digest. Some people can't.
Tomorrow I give you a Bhagavad Gita because then that gives you knowledge. Okay? Because it's Krishna. Krishna says in
My
Bhagavad
findings
Gita,
take
I'm the
words, they have
ability
a
of
different
man.
meaning.
Oh, Jai. Very nice. Oh, great. Oh, thank you.
That's all right.
Oh, mercy.
I
Yes,
will
have
Maybe
mercy.
in a secular context, the words have this meaning, but from a different perspective. From a
That's right. That's
No, I
right.
understand.
That's
They're
right.
differently,
Yes.
and there's different ways of
Yes,
explaining
yes.
things
That's
and
right.
understanding.
No, but you know, this is
And
original pure knowledge coming from God. And contemporary science doesn't even understand what the mind is. And the Vedas already describe it. The Vedas come from God, and they're written down by incarnations of God. God knows everything. You know, you come from God. All the machinery you are talking about comes from God. And you know,
I understand where you're coming from, so that
Yeah.
comes from God, so without that you wouldn't be able to. I see the process.
No, but he
The
explains
different
it. He
layers.
explains it. Yeah, because he knows how it works. Actually, you know, if you, I give you the Bhagavad Gita tomorrow.
I have
You can do it.
All right.
I have a small one.
Yeah, that doesn't matter what size it is, as long as it's Prabhupada's. Is it Prabhupada's?
Yes.
Is that acceptable or?
It says as it
consider it well.
is,
Yeah, that's good. That's
but
Prabhupada's.
just a small. It's small.
It doesn't matter because it's just a different print, but it's exactly the same content.
But I think as I have it, it must be right for now, mustn't it?
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying.
And then I have the chanting book.
Yeah. Did I give you that?
Yes.
So what you can do is whenever you can come to the temple. Every evening we read from the Bhagavad Gita. And the person who speaks, they have more understanding, so they actually explain it further.
Yes.
And it's pure knowledge. It's pure knowledge. So, and it's Krishna giving pure knowledge to Arjuna, and through that discussion we get the pure knowledge. That's the main point of the Bhagavad Gita.
And then it passes on.
Yeah. Because otherwise, by now, nobody would have any knowledge, because contemporary science is just speculation. And they are only scratching the surface of tiny speck of dust within the, whole creation. They are only seeing a tiny part of it. And they don't really understand.
This, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Do we need to mop up? Do we need to mop?
It's really okay.
Yeah. He's done a very good job cleaning up.
Okay.
And the bin is tied up with little flies in it.
All right.
Little fruit flies.
Our pets around in here. Our pets around in here.
Sorry?
Our pets around in here.
No, down here. No, don't bring it here.
No, I wasn't asking. I didn't have
You
a
can
pet.
give your pet prasadam. That's the best thing you can do for your pet.
I don't have a pet. I don't have one.
If you have any...
But if someone came here with a cat in a cage, wouldn't be allowed in here.
It's all about...
You have to be respectful to Krishna.
Well, you can ask Parasuram, but they don't normally... Because it's still like a temple, even though it's more informal than the Soul Street temple. And like in the temple, there's this homeless guy who used to come to the temple, but then he acquired this dog, and now he comes to the door and people give him prasad because he can't bring the dog in. But the dog is very friendly, everybody loves it.
Left over?
Why is that?
No, it's old ones. Come to the temple.
If it's just one dog,
It's all old flowers, but you need to take it to the car.
do you understand that?
Yeah, okay, I'll take one on the car. Where was it, up here?
Yeah, it's from here,
that's
so it's
okay.
Mahama.
That's
Because
all right.
all these flowers I have,
That's all right.
they are already Maha.
okay.
Can I explain,
Yeah.
Prabhu? They are already Maha from the Sorcery temple, so it's Mahama because I leave them here.
Right.
So if you don't want them, I normally take
No.
put it in the park if you don't want it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been devoted for nearly 40
Yeah, I know,
years.
because some people just don't bother.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't take them otherwise.
I normally put it in the park or in the river, and then it purifies the whole thing rather than... Because putting it in the rubbish is a bit different. There's no
Oh, you
fancy.
did it?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for everything. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, Prabhu, this is from last week.
Oh,
It's Krishna's flute, and then it was on Prabhupada. I just wanted.
Oh, yes.
Ah,
That's
go right time.
Maha Mercy, eh?
Yeah, Maha. So in this Krishna's flute.
Prabhu said
Cut it.
that they're spare, okay, so they can go back into there,
Yeah.
because otherwise the man upstairs that runs the shop, he said that he would have them.
You should give it to him.
Yeah, give it to him. He does service. He's homeless and he does service. Give it to him.
Persian originally, so you would
The
appreciate
other
that.
man, the Indian man, I'll give them to him. he says.
Oh, whoever wanted it, just give
No,
it.
I'll just give them to him. Why not? It's a nice gift, isn't it?
Yes, excuse me. Yes. Because he's originally from Persia, Iran.
Okay, let's go. Okay. Okay. So here is this one from Prabhupada and Krishna. This is the one from Krishna's flute, and then it's from Prabhupada's picture.
Okay, Herbo, thank you.
No, I didn't mean to. You know, some people, even after many years, they don't care about those things, but it's not actually not. Yeah. You know what I mean.
And then I'll pass it on as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Yes.
Are you coming to King's Cross?
Yes.
You could let two of us out now. It's easier than one here and one there. We shall go together. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Hurry, go. Get it there, buddy. Come on, hey.
I'm coming up. Okay. I'm done. How do you like the decorations? So, what do you mean nobody ever takes care of these deities? And this is all Maha now, because it's Maha flowers and Maha garlands from the Sorcery Temple. And they are used here. Look.
It's good if if people actually see them. Or is it just for the deities themselves?
It's both.
Okay.
Right. And also spiritual recycling.
Yes.
Because these are straight from the deities, so they are what we call clean. So it's not the flowers and garlands that people have been wearing or sniffing. It's straight from the deities, so it's clean, so you can use them for. No, very nice colours. Always matches. Krishna always arranges for this, that it always matches the deity's outfits. I don't know if you have a tissue or cloth to wipe this with, but no, okay, let's go. Right. So tomorrow is Balaram's appearance day.
Okay.
You know, he's Krishna's elder brother, and he gives you spiritual strength. And it's festival day. The feast is at lunchtime. And there's lots of singing. Really nice. All fresh. And they come to life again. The flowers. They don't look old. They have already been used. Oh, I forgot to take these from Nishma. I didn't get Nishma in the flowers. And that's because this was boarded off, so last few times I couldn't get here, so I forgot about Nishma. Last from it's not Nishma. Okay, let's go.